You guys are doing so much in Southern Company, but you've got to make some decisions with regards to allocation that are to be able to meet your investor needs, right? Which are both short-term and long-term, and with these massive transitions. You've got coal, you've got nuclear, you've got...
So the trick there is, there's three kinds of companies in the world. There's birds of prey, moving prey, and roadkill. and how you define where you are depends upon your ability to achieve success in short and long terms. R&D is a key to achieving success in long term. And so birds of prey are those that achieve success long term and make short term EPS and everything else work. Reliability, price, customer satisfaction. The roadkill are the companies that can't do either. Most often what you see in the United States anyway are companies that are focused on the short term, quarter to quarter kind of results and put the long term in peril. Southern Company is the only company in our industry in America today that does proprietary, robust research and development. We also are the biggest funder to the industry co-op of research and development called EPRI. And in fact, I love EPRI. I used to be vice chair. The former CEO of EPRI is on my board, Dr. Steven Specker, a brilliant guy. But it's not enough. We have to think about this concept of creative destruction. This concept of Thomas Edison built something and he wouldn't see any difference really isn't true. And I would argue that what's going on right now, whether it is technology enabled or whether it is customer required, especially for people in this, and you made a great point about this electrification of the digital economy. Customers will require a whole new business model and approach. Traditionally, utilities make, move, sell. Yep. They pass stuff through a meter. What is happening now is this make, move, sell concept is jumping over the meter and is now being located on the customer premise. That feels awfully threatening to old school utility people. But you can't keep the waves off the beach. There are enough chemicals in the sea for something to crawl up on that beach. And what we have to do as responsible business leaders is invent the future. Have the vision and courage necessary to make it happen in an environment that otherwise feels threatening. I think the most important point you said is nonlinearity of change.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of math, chaos theory. The variance in nature is much bigger than what we ever measure. And I think when we try to take really long-term looking investments and plan for 60 to 70 to 80 years, there's going to be technology change that will jump over even things that we just imagine right now. So I think in 25, 30 years, we will have solutions in front of us today that we don't even think about. And how do you place your options bets today to position yourself offensively on those issues? And that's the whole purpose of innovation, I think, right now.
What do you suggest? What are some of your considerations as you make these changes and you really have to keep up and push for the future?
So I go to the workforce?
Yep.
So in the workforce, we do it in kind of three different levels. On one hand, I think undersold are just base capabilities for people that we need boots on the ground to run the business. And so we have partnerships in every level of education. Now actually we're starting in elementary schools, but we have programs in high schools and everything else. We jointly sponsor academic research. On another hand, what we're doing is thinking about a whole new workforce. Utility industry, I would arguably say, has an older workforce. Average age of Southern Company employees about 47 years old, and they typically look a certain way. The value of diversity and inclusion, while it sounds like some pablum or some sort of aspirational comment, is really not about race and gender or sexual orientation or religion or age. It's really about getting bigger, broader cultural bandwidth, so that we have the ability not to look through a knothole into the future, but with a much broader sense of the potential opportunities and threats that we're going to have to address now before they are on our shores. It's really important to focus on diversity and to retrain and move forward.
What is the one big disruption? And it might be 20 years in the making, because we know that this particular space is typically lots of capital, and it's really patient capital because it takes a long time. What would you pick?
Storage. If you can figure that one out, you change the whole game in terms of how you make, move, and sell for customers' benefits. If you can figure out storage, that's it.
How long is this going to take? I said 20 years, but I mean, peer-to-peer, that's more like
like 50 years.
No, that's happening. That's the make, move, and sell on the customer premise. It's happening in a networked sense, like you're talking about. That is a bigger deal. But it's already happening. And that's this how long. Look, storage is already happening. This annihilation of the conventional business model is happening. It's the speed of value is really when.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a demarcation. This is a natural evolution that we've got to play offense on as an industry. Otherwise, there will be, the line out of Barbarians at the Gate that I love so much. If you don't run your business as well as you can, somebody else will.
Someone else
It's exactly where we are. We've got to play offense everywhere we can.